Hello everyone, it's Elianna from Arts Forward. Today we'll be doing card making. So card making is a great way to express your appreciation for someone or show them that you care. It doesn't take long to make some cards, sometimes it can only take 5 minutes, but it will mean a lot to the person you give it to. Okay, so today we will be making this card and this card. I will say what I did to make these two cards because the thank you card is cute and everyone loves Christmas cards, which you can like write something in or just put a picture in. So for the Christmas card, I just did watercolor, a little bit of light blue, and tiny bit of black that I watered down a lot. And I washed it in the back, and then I took some stamps. I stamped snowflakes. I wrote Merry Christmas. And then I took some pipe cleaners that are shiny and I put them with hot glue on the corners. Excuse me. For the thank you card, I did acrylic paints to make the base of the tree. Then I took some drier leaves from outside off a tree and I put them in a little bit of paint, making sure not to get too much paint on them. If you check out our Arts Forward YouTube channel, there is a video on how to make a thanking tree. I used that technique to put the leaves on this card. And then I used acrylic paint to make the sun and some foam paper, I'm not sure what it's called, for these letters, and a Sharpie. I just used cardstock for the base of both of these, green cardstock and white cardstock. For this one, we'll be using some more cardstock and some ribbons and construction paper. Okay, so we will have our glue stick, our cardstock paper, some construction paper, or you can use some more cardstock if you'd like, and some spare snippets of colorful ribbon or string. Or if you'd like, you can use a little bit of fabric too. Just the spare scraps you have no other use for. So first thing we'll do is fold our card in half. So this is the basis for basically any card. You can have it like this, or you can have it upright, whichever you prefer. So we have our basic design for the heart. Next we take a bunch of our ribbon or string and we just take some little snippets here and there and then we glue it on. So you can use Elmer's glue, just a glue stick, or the liquid glue. If you want to get it to stick really well, I would advise hot glue, which is what I might switch to. So you put it on, but it sticks pretty good with the glue stick. It just means you got sticky fingers. So you take more ribbons and strings and you glue them till about this much of our page is covered with ribbons and strings. So I will let you all do that. Oops. Some things stick better than others. Use a little bit of hot glue. Do be careful not to burn yourselves, as the glue sticks can be very hot. This is a fun craft project for younger children, as you can just glue them on willy-nilly, however you please. Doesn't need to be any particular order or pattern to them. more ribbon. For this one I used some shiny string, but I'm not sure where I put the shiny string, so this one will just have ribbons. Okay, next we will do construction paper. So for this part we will fold this in half. And then make sure that it's not too big. So cut it to about the size of your cardstock. So I will just use a pencil to mark. And then use your scissors to cut it. Next we draw a half a heart. So we just go up, down, however you please. And then we cut it. So it opens up to make a heart. We will be using this part. Okay, so now we will take our cutout here, and we'll take a eraser, if you would like, to get the edges of the pencil still left. Then we take it and we put it over our card, like so. And you can see I didn't put enough ribbon on the edge, so I'm going to do that. Put a little bit more purple. If you like, you can also make not just ribbons glued on willy-nilly. You can make like a design, like a flower with some buttons, or construction paper, make a collage. Okay, that looks pretty good. So then we take some glue and we'll put it on so that we can glue this over top. And I'm just about out of glue, but we will make it last. Don't worry too much if your edges don't match up precisely on the back part, because we will be cutting it in the next step. So now you have the base, and we will take our either regular scissors, or you can use decorative scissors with a pattern, which is what I tried to use on this, but I didn't wait till the glue was dry and it's kind of crumpled. So if you're using decorative scissors to cut, you should probably wait till it's dry because then it cuts a bit better. So when cutting, kind of cut to follow the heart shape that you already have. Just leaving a little bit of pink border. This makes an adorable Valentine's card from little kid, or really just anyone too. So then if you open it up, you have the inside. Now we take this piece and we're going to glue it in. So once you have your glue, and hopefully your glue isn't giving out like mine is, you can glue it on the inside of your paper. And then you can take a piece of just white printer paper, which is pretty good, and you can put it on the inside of your heart, or you can just use Sharpie to write if your color is light. If you'd like to have a white middle with just the dark instead of putting a white middle inside of the pink, which is inside of the white, then you make the base, the cardstock, dark colored, and then the outside light. So now you can take a pen or a Sharpie and write your message. Okay, now to do this kind of card. For this I used paper marbling, which is incredibly fun. And then I just glued some ribbons and some paper on the inside. So I just glued purple paper and I took little squares of white and I put them here. And then I took little snippets of purple, smaller snippets of marble, and smaller snippets of orange. So I'll show you how to make the marble paper, which is incredibly fun. You can make like envelope tops or honestly anything. It looks really cool and super easy, if a bit messy. So you might want to move to a different area where there aren't mildly important papers that might be disturbed. So the things that you'll need to make your marble paper is a large bowl. Well, square pans or rectangle pans work better, like the clear ones you use for baking. It just needs to be big enough to fit your sheet of paper in. This was the only bowl I could find, so I'm using it. And you'll need a rubber spatula. This was also the only rubber spatula I could find, so that's what I'm using. A small plate, which isn't necessary but kind of nice to set your spatula on when it's full of shaving cream, a stirring stick or a skewer or a toothpick for swirling, and then you'll need food coloring and shaving cream. So first thing we'll do is spray a generous amount of shaving cream into our bowl. Just needs to be enough shaving cream that your paper will be completely covered. And you can do this with more than one sheet of paper once you get it all set up. Oh, you'll also need paper towel. I think I forgot to mention that, but it's pretty necessary. So take your food coloring, and the first color you add will be your base color. So this one will spread the most, and I used red for the base for this one, so it gave me a kind of pink. So add quite a few drops here and there. can also use watercolor, like liquid watercolor paint or something like that. So once you have your food coloring in, you gently fold it, making sure not to mix too much because you still want there to be nicely spaced out white spots. So that's probably about good. So then you wipe it off and you put in another color. So I will be putting in a bit of green and a bit of yellow. So you don't need to put in as much of this. For these ones, we're taking our mixing stick and we're just kind of gently swirling this a little bit. You don't have to be purposeful with your design, but if you want to be, you can try. So then just mix it kind of randomly, not too much or too little. And then I will put a little bit of yellow in here and here. Okay, now comes the fun part. We get to smush our paper. Oh wait, no, I forgot. If you want to get your paper so it doesn't have a little bit of color on the edges, then you put some painter's tape on the edges of the back. So I will do that really quick because I will be using this for writing. So I want to keep the back pretty clean, although if you're just putting another color in, like I did with the other card, then you don't need to worry about it too much because I just glued another piece of paper over top. Or if you're just doing this for art's sake because it's fun, then don't bother with putting the tape on because it gets kind of tedious after like the 5th one. Alright, so this will be the back of our paper. So then we just smush it, making sure we get it all covered up. Oops, and see, I already got dye on it, so that wasn't very successful. And then we kind of leave it in for a little bit to make sure it gets completely covered, but not long enough that it gets wet, because then the paper will get soggy and it won't work as well. So once you have it in for a little bit of time, you take it out and you put it on some paper towel. And then using a ruler or a piece of cardboard, you scrape it. Scrape off the excess staining cream, kind of put it back, or you can throw it away. And then you take some more paper towel, and then you wipe off your hands and the rest of the shaving cream. So you can see I left it in a little too long because the colors are bleeding a bit and the paper is wilted. Or, well, I don't really know a better word for it, but it's droopy. So we want to use a heavier type paper. So this is cardstock. You can also use like watercolor paper or anything that's thick with texture. Printer paper and construction paper don't work very well. Okay, so you can see this paper is pretty good. So you can put another paper over top of it, or some more paper towel over top of it, and then put a heavy book or binder full of school notes you really probably need sometime, and then let it sit so that it flattens out. And then once it's dry, you can turn it into a card like this, or really use it for anything because it's really pretty. I'm gonna do another piece of paper because this will last for a few more, as long as you don't mix it too much. Once the colors start getting blurred, then it's probably time to switch the paper. So I will just quickly kind of smush it in. Make sure not to leave it in too long or make a mess. Well, I guess mess is part of the fun, right? Then take it out. Down and scrape it off quickly. So I hope you had fun learning a couple different ideas for making different cards. Make sure to try your own and look up different card ideas. There's a ton on Pinterest or just online. And make sure to check out our YouTube channel for more upcoming videos.